Imagine waking up on your 24th birthday and deciding that the most valuable thing you could do for your future is to legally erase one of the most famous last names in Hollywood history. For Maddox Jolie-Pitt, that hypothetical scenario just became an absolute legal reality. On May 28, 2026, the eldest son of Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt officially submitted a formal petition to the courts, demanding to legally strip the name Pitt from his identity and register permanently as Maddox Jolie. This isn't just a quiet piece of family friction leaking into a tabloid column. It is a calculated, public declaration of independence from a young man who has spent a decade navigating the collateral damage of his parents' monumental fallout. By taking his grievances straight to a judge, Maddox has effectively broken a long-running family stalemate, sending a definitive message about where his loyalties lie. The timeline leading up to this explosive courtroom filing reveals a steady, highly intentional progression away from the patriarch's legacy. While the internet was caught completely off guard by the late May court documents, Maddox had already been field testing his new identity behind the scenes of the film industry. Working alongside his mother as an assistant director on the recent drama couture, crew sheets, and official festival production, notes explicitly listed him simply as Maddox Jolie, a stark departure from his previous billing on the 2024 film Maria. Maddox's legal move is the latest domino to fall in what has become a total systemic rejection of the Pitt surname by the former couple's adult children. Shiloh set the formal legal precedent by filing to drop the name on her 18th birthday, while Zahara was announced strictly as Zahara Marley Jolie during her university graduation ceremony earlier this month, and Vivian chose to completely omit her father's name from her theatrical playbill's public reaction across digital platforms, pop culture communities, and legal analysis forums has been absolutely overwhelming over the last 72 hours, triggering a deep sociological debate about the realities of high-profile family trauma. Viral TikTok deep dives tracing the lineage of the family's public estrangement have generated tens of millions of views, with the digital space separating cleanly into two fiercely polarized camps. On one side of the comment sections, an immense wave of public support is rallying behind the children, with users noting that Maddox was at the absolute center of the infamous 2016 private jet incident that originally shattered the marriage, making his legal filing a deeply profound, reclaiming moment of personal agency. On the other side, a massive contingent of celebrity commentators are voicing intense sympathy for Brad Pitt, analyzing the situation through the lens of alleged parental alienation and arguing that the systematic, chronological dropping of his name by each child feels like a highly synchronized, devastating public execution of his parental legacy. This rapid escalation from a private family decision into a massive international talking point exposes a fascinating, deeply uncomfortable truth about the state of contemporary influencer culture and the commodification of celebrity families. For years, the modern internet has treated Hollywood children like public domain intellectual property, tracking their growth, styling choices, and family relationships as if they were characters in an ongoing reality television series. But the Jolie-Pitt children are executing a radical subversion of that entire culture. They aren't launching lifestyle brands, they aren't oversharing their domestic trauma on podcasts for algorithmic engagement, and they are actively refusing to monetize the intense public fascination surrounding their lives. By utilizing the cold, unyielding mechanics of the legal system to adjust their names rather than issuing chaotic social media statements, they are treating their personal boundaries with absolute gravity, proving that true autonomy in the digital age means using the systems of power to protect your peace rather than feeding the online content machine. Original commentary here. This unified front of name changes represents a monumental, permanent shift in the cultural legacy of the brand formerly known as Brangelina. For over a decade, traditional crisis management teams have tried to frame this divorce as a standard, albeit wealthy, custody dispute that would eventually fade into a quiet, amicable co-parenting arrangement once the children reached adulthood. The fact that the adult children are independently taking formal legal action the exact second they gain the autonomy to do so completely demolishes that corporate PR narrative. It affects the public standing of everyone involved beautifully and brutally, validating Angelina Jolie's long-held public stances without her ever having to say a single word, while cementing a tragic reality for Brad Pitt that no amount of box office success or red carpet charm can fix. You can salvage a global film career, but you cannot force an adult child to carry your name if they have chosen to leave it behind. We must remain exceptionally disciplined in separating the verified court facts of this developing story from the wild, unverified conspiracies currently floating through anonymous corners of the internet. It is a confirmed, undeniable fact that Maddox has submitted these legal documents, that his sisters have altered their names in public and academic spaces, and that the filing coincides with a series of major legal victories for Jolie regarding their shared French winery assets. However, viral social media theories claiming that Jolie actively orchestrated Maddox's filing as a tactical, courtroom maneuver to influence an ongoing, hidden custody battle over their youngest minor twins are completely fabricated fabrications born out of pure internet speculation. Furthermore, online rumors suggesting that Brad Pitt's legal team is preparing to file an official countersuit to block his adult children from using the Jolie name professionally remain entirely baseless legal myths that entirely misunderstand the basic constitutional rights of adult individuals to change their monikers. The pacing of this public discourse has been remarkably intense, moving instantly from standard entertainment reporting straight into a heavy, philosophical interrogation of family identity, just as the summer entertainment cycle begins to ramp up. This leaves the broader Hollywood ecosystem with a massive, unresolved industry question to watch as the remaining minor children approach their own legal majorities over the next year. As the youngest twins, Knox and Vivian, edge closer to their 18th birthdays under the intense, magnifying lens of global media scrutiny, the precedent established by their older siblings is going to exert an immense amount of gravity on their choices. Whether this complete generational shift away from the Pitt legacy will finally force a permanent ceasefire in the decade-long courtroom war between their parents, or if the impending adult decisions of the remaining children will trigger an entirely new wave of high-stakes legal retaliation, is a compelling, unfolding narrative that the very near future will inevitably reveal.